All right, here we are. We're live. Looks like we're live on Facebook. Looks like we're live on LinkedIn. Hello to everybody that's out there on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Looks like May 16th. Gorgeous day out here in Long Island, New York. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and hopefully you're outside but tuning in from your phone so you don't miss this awesome next episode of Corona Chronicles. Today is lockdown day 61. Wow, 61. That's kind of a magical number in New York, though, right? So I would be remiss if I didn't talk about 61 as a magical number. Let's say it was 1961, and Maris and Mantle were both chasing Babe Ruth's home run title of 60. And Mantle got hurt near the end of the season, I think. He ended up with like 54 home runs. Maris ends up with 61, breaks the record, wins the MVP by like 2 or 3 votes. Even though if you kind of look at the numbers, I don't know. I think Mantle had a way better batting average, 30 or 40 points, maybe more, maybe 50 points better, more RBIs. I don't know. There's a Maris Mantle thing. I guess that one goes down in the books, but that's 61 for you. What else is going on? Let's talk about the Nassau County numbers. Whoops. Don't drop the whole setup here. All right, what are we looking like in Nassau County? So we were doing great, right? We had 26 straight days of the numbers going down. Both our hospitalizations and our deaths were going down for 26 days in a row. We had a slight uptick, 1 day uptick. I think the blip was on Thursday, and now we're back down again. So that's great. Unfortunately, based on the governor's criteria to reopen, that sets us back a little bit. So there's 7 criteria that each county has to meet in order to be allowed to reopen. It's decline in total hospitalizations, which we do meet, decline in deaths for a certain period of time, which for us is now upticked, decline in new hospitalizations upticked for a day, so we kind of got reset there. But we have hospital bed capacity, we have ICU bed capacity, we have the diagnostic testing capability, and it says here that we've passed the test for contact tracing capacity. I don't know that that's necessarily true, but it says that we have. I didn't even realize they had hired anybody, let alone trained them and got them out there into the program. So I don't know. Hopefully the end is near here on this lockdown. We've been extended now to potentially May 28th. May 30th. I think it's the 28th, and then now the governor's saying June 13th. So not really sure what's going to go on there. The key is, everybody. Just keep doing your thing. Keep your social distancing. Keep your masks on when you're in public, when you can't stay 6 feet away from people. And let's see if we can continue to flatten this curve to the point where they allow the economy to open back up. Because, we've been talking about flatten the curve for 2 months now. And I don't know when flatten the curve turned into wait until we have a cure. I'm definitely not waiting until we have a cure. There's not going to be an America to come back to if we wait. Cures take long times. God knows how long it could go on if we're waiting for a cure. I heard a ding. Not sure what that was. Nobody entered the studio. All right. Moving on. So another big week for some of my closest personal friends. 2 big birthdays. Reno Lusardo, big birthday on the 14th. And yesterday, my very best friend, Matt Petrillo, big birthday yesterday. 49. So that means I'm going to be turning 49 in a few months too. Wow, time's really flying. Happy birthday to both you guys. A little bit of a bummer and a happy note right here. So right now, Maria and I are supposed to be in Key West. This would be the morning of the Blum Francis wedding. Our very good friend Nutrish Mish was supposed to be getting married in Key West today. We would have been there since Thursday, our first vacation without the kids. We were really looking forward to it. Obviously had to postpone that wedding. It's on for October now, so super pumped and can't wait to celebrate with them in Key West in October. So that's pretty much what's going on around me and in my world. If anybody saw my Tip Tuesday this week, I talked about doing well and doing good, and I'm going to play a little clip of it later. So today's topic is going to be how to improve your community. Like, what can you do out there to to just help out. You know, we're all communities. You know, we all live together. Even though we're living separately, we're living together. And you know, there's a group of folks in my town who decided that they were going to do something amazing, and they were going to help clean up the town, and they were just going to help improve not only the look of the town but the morale of the town. And I just think they're really awesome guys. So I'm going to bring in my guest today. This is NYPD Detective Brian Driscoll. Here comes Brian. Brian is, among other things, a loving husband, a super dedicated dad to two youngsters, and I'm going to call him a community do-gooder. And Brian's one of the founders of the Oceanside Community Warriors out here on Long Island, New York. And here's Brian. Welcome, man. How you doing?
Hey, Frank. Thanks for having me today. Such a nice day out there.
I know. I wish we were outside doing something. Fortunately, we're only going to run 30 minutes, so we could definitely find some time to get out there today. I think I got to clean the pool, and I may have to wait on the Trader Joe's line today, running kind of low on supplies. It is what it is. What's going on your side of town?
Nice and quiet.
Quiet today?
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, so let's get right to the main topic. Let's dive in. Tell me about Oceanside Community Warriors. What was the impetus? How did it start? And what do you guys do? Tell me a little bit about it.
So we started last April 2019. Basically, there was some, you know, how Facebook is, especially now. Facebook's crazy. Everyone's fighting. Sure. But last year, there was several posts about an area in Oceanside that was not kept. The grass was high. There was garbage on the ground.
I remember that.
And a bunch of people were complaining. So a couple of us, myself, Mike D'Ambrosio, and Paul Tucci, we decided let's just go out there and clean it ourselves. So we put a post up on Facebook, made an event. We said, hey guys, look, we're looking to go out there, clean this area up by the high school. And if you want to come out, come meet us at the teacher's parking lot. So a week later, about 25 people showed up, garbage bags, rakes, everything ready to go. So we went out, we cleaned up the area. Later that day, we decided, why don't we make a group and we start going out more often. So we made the group the Warriors, the Oceanside Cleanup Warriors. And we decided, let's go out again next week. And pretty much every Sunday, we've been going out. And consistently, we have between 15 and 20 people, new people all the time. We have volunteers that come out from high school for their community service hours. So if you have kids that need their community service hours, come follow our page, Oceanside Community Warriors, and anyone's welcome to come out. Right now, yeah, it's awesome.
So I remember the first big cleanup that you guys did. I also remember seeing you guys cleaning up at the lighthouse, which is like the entry point to our little town here, or hamlet, as they say. What other types of projects have you guys done? What's the type of work that you're getting out there? I know you're getting out there early Sunday mornings. So what else have you guys done?
Well, it started off when someone would complain about a certain area of town, we'd go out there and clean it up. And now consistently, we have several areas that we go out once a month and try to clean up. So we took on the lighthouse. We make sure that's cleaned up. A lot of people, it's a main hub for buses. So people wait there, they throw their garbage, their cigarette butts. Yeah. You know, they leave it a mess. So we end every week, whatever cleanup we do, we end up at the lighthouse, just straighten that up. We've taken on a couple of the Welcome to Oceanside signs. Daly Boulevard, the firefighter Kiefer 9/11 sign. It was getting a little out of control there. The grass grew up so high that the sign was covered. So we've cleaned up that area.
That's a key spot in the neighborhood too. So if you're familiar with Oceanside, first of all, Daly Boulevard really has a place in my heart because it's named after the incredible Marine Dan Daly, 2 Navy Cross winners there. So Daly Boulevard, it's an east-west. It's a main road that connects basically our 2 north-south roads. It connects Lawson Boulevard and Long Beach Road. What's significant about Daly Boulevard now is it is the entry point to our huge Costco complex. So lots of folks, not only from in the town, but from all over, come and they stop at that intersection. And if that looks like crap, it really just doesn't say, a good thing about Oceanside. So I'm really glad that you guys cleaned that up. Plus, it honors the 9/11 firefighters there. So yeah, really, really important place. Glad that you guys are out there periodically making sure it's maintained.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a main hub at the Oceanside. I mean, you have people coming from the Rockaways,
Yep.
from Atlantic Beach, Lido Beach. They're probably coming from the
5 towns they probably come over
5
from.
towns. Yeah, it's easy to cut through the 5 towns to Long Beach.
Right.
You got that. So a lot of people go through that. It's a bad look for our town when people come in and say, "What's going on here? Why is there garbage everywhere?" And so we've been keeping up on that a lot.
It's a good thing you guys are out there. You know what? I want to pull up this screen here. So something happened in our town about a week or so ago, May 11th, I think it was. Yeah. So just this past week. Again, as Brian mentioned a couple of times, and I'm sure wherever you guys are out there in Facebook land and maybe on LinkedIn, I'm sure you have local pages where people from certain communities will join a page and communicate with their neighbors. Unfortunately, sometimes those things go negative, and people start to point out the bad things that are going on. So someone did. There's a gas station that's been closed down in our town, probably about I don't know, maybe almost a year now. And the owner, painted everything white, tried to keep it nice and neat. So someone goes out and puts graffiti on it, and immediately some people, hop on the community page and start pounding the community. Wow, what's going on here? What's with the graffiti? How does this look? So what do these guys do? I mean, they immediately jump into action, and here they are. They immediately jump into action. They get out there, and here's some of the warriors right here. And as soon as they get out there, they see the graffiti, and they take care of it. Brian, tell us who. Let me go back. Tell us who we have. Who do we have here? These are some of the main players in the community warriors. Who do we have here?
So we have, starting from the left, we have Steve Montoya. Next to him is Paul Tucci, Joe Glavin, and then Ryan Hemsley.
Awesome.
With the hat
Great
on.
guys. Love these gents. They're always doing something for the town. Really fantastic. Well done. So there's our freshly minted graffiti. It's not that good, by the way. I'm generally a pretty good fan of graffiti. I grew up in Brooklyn. Spent my high school years down in Bay Ridge. One of my longest time friends is Todd One. Awesome graffiti artist. Michael Caves, awesome graffiti artist. This is not fantastic graffiti. This does not reflect well on the artist or the community. So what do these guys do? They go out and they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go paint over the wall. What happened from there, Brian?
So right behind that place, there's a newly opened in the last year, Sherwin-Williams, a paint store. So a couple of guys went over there. They spoke with the manager, I believe, and let them know what was going on. They took a walk around the block. They showed them, and they donated some paint to clean that up.
Awesome. So the Sherwin-Williams, business that's still open here in our community decides, you know what, we're going to help you guys take care of our collective community. And look how nice that looks when it's all done. Graffiti's gone, order is restored. The moms of Oceanside are now happy for this second until they find something else to complain about, or at least so I heard. I'm not on the moms group because, well, I'm not a mom. I don't understand when I hear all these guys talking about what goes on in the moms group. You don't belong there if you're not a mom. So well done there, guys. This is fantastic. And you know what? You know me. So I love the fact that these guys actually lived by Morizioism #1, which is doing something actually means doing something. They saw that there was something going on in the community. They knew that there was a way that they could help, and they picked up some shovels and some rakes, and in this case, some paint cans and some rollers, and they went and took some action. Not sitting behind their keyboard, not sitting in their living room, eating potato chips and complaining about it. They're doing something. So that's really near and dear to my heart. I love when people take action, and I love to motivate people to take action. As a matter of fact, I'm going to challenge you guys right now. I'm going to challenge everybody that's watching out there. Go do something in your community. Take a look around. I don't know, even if it's as simple as when you're taking your walk, you see somebody's carelessly tossed water bottle. All right, I guess now we got to be kind of careful with touching other people's shit. But you know what? Bring gloves with you. Bring gloves with you. Pick up a piece of trash. Get organized. Grab some friends. Look around your community. See if there's some way that you can help. I think that we can definitely do that on a personal level. Brian, not that difficult, right?
No.
Take tremendous amount of skill.
Nope. Just get out there, lead by example.
Exactly.
And teach that to you.
And of course, you're a great example for kids all over the neighborhood. Let me say some hellos. We got a bunch of folks on right now. Got my Marine Corps brother, Brian Downs, is there. Hey, Brian. Oh, by the way, so both Brian Downs and Brian Driscoll, a couple of weeks ago, the guest on my show was from the Be the Match Foundation. And I was talking about how to be somebody's cure from your couch. Right on the air as we were talking, both of those guys, they text in, they ordered their kits to get their swabs to get on the National Bone Marrow Donor Registry. These guys are, once again, proving that they're taking action. Really appreciate you guys. Christina's out there. Rich Ramirez down in Florida. Oh, man, Rich, I wish I was down in Florida with you right now, although the weather looks pretty good out here. Who else do we got? Michael Graham. He's another community warrior. My Flowers by Michael. Awesome flower shop in town. He's always helping out. My friend Mike Murata is out there. Hey, Mike. Andrew Morgan, Captain Morgan retired, is out there now. Who else is out there? Ben Cooper, retired. Sergeant Major Brian O'Toole is out there. Bobby Ross, of course. Anthony Durante, another one of my Marine Corps brothers. Oh, as a matter of fact, hey, Durante. So Brian actually is an NYPD detective. We're going to talk about that now. And he knows George Wolfram, who went to boot camp with both Anthony and I, who's on the air with us right now. So that's fantastic. And since we touched on that, why don't we talk about that? Brian, tell me about what's it like to be an NYPD detective right now during this pandemic? And I believe you're out of Brooklyn, right? So what's going on down there? Tell us what's really happening.
I work in child abuse squad. It's part of special victims. Mm-hmm. So we deal with all child abuse cases in the whole borough of Brooklyn. It's a little crazy out there. I mean, I saw firsthand in the first month, I did a citywide coverage on the midnight with the night watch crew, the special victims night watch crew. One of the guys I worked with actually passed away a couple of weeks ago from COVID. So it's very real. In the NYPD, I think we're up to like 6,000 cops that have tested positive so far.
Yeah. Although most recently, not so much. It's really tapered off. You guys are.
It's been dying down a lot. Yeah.
You're being careful. So that's definitely a good sign there. But what's going on in your unit? I mean, what's going on with is there an uptick? What's going on with the children of our communities right now?
Well, unfortunately, I mean, when these kids are not in school, the teachers are usually the reporters. When a kid comes in, they tell their teacher in confidence that someone's abusing them, either hurting them or abusing them sexually. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, these kids are out of school for a long time. So, I mean, this kid's being out there right now being abused and nobody knows about it.
Terrible, terrible. Silent victims. Nothing worse than a silent victim.
You're right.
And I mean, in addition to the that specialized work that you do, I mean, you're around other cops and detectives. What do they feel like the climate is in the city of New York right now in the boroughs? Like, how are people in general feeling about this lockdown, and how are they really reacting to it? Are we being good citizens? What's going on in the boroughs? I know in Oceanside, my neighbors are doing a pretty good job. I got to commend them on that. What's going on in the boroughs?
I think whenever I go out on a case, it looks like people are following it. I mean, it doesn't matter what neighborhood you're going in. Mm-hmm. People are wearing their masks. They're keeping their distance, which is a great thing. In the beginning, like I said, when I did that night watch coverage, we went to Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx, and it was like a war zone in there. I mean, there was people laying on the floors. There wasn't enough beds. So thank God it's dying down now, and there's actually hospital beds, and people are being able to be treated properly.
That's terrible, terrible. Yeah, I mean, you never like to hear about human suffering, but it's fortunate that as a society that we have heroes like you. We have the first responders, the Leos, the cops, the firemen, the EMTs. We have obviously everybody that works in a hospital system. And right now, I mean literally everybody, from the billing clerk to the engineer that keeps the lights on, to the janitor that keeps everything clean, and then obviously on to the nurses and the doctors and the surgeons and everybody that's given the frontline care. I mean, it takes an entire community. We know, we both know, Brian, mine from my Marine Corps service and yours from being a detective, that it takes an entire department, an entire unit to accomplish the mission. So we're just fortunate to have folks like you out there. And you know what? In addition, I mean, I know already that you're a special guy, but I believe that that God also thinks that you're a special guy, and you and your wife are super strong folks because they gave you a special gift in your son Liam.
Yes.
Would you and Liam has different abilities than other kids, and you know, it's been a bit of a challenge for both you, your wife, and his brother. But tell us about Liam. I mean, you must be really special, strong folks to have a child like this.
Yeah, Liam's a great kid, real happy kid. He just turned 4 in April. When he was born, they had heard a heart murmur, and he had a heart condition called tetralogy of Fallot. Basically, it's there's a hole separating the two chambers of the heart.
Okay.
If enough unoxygenated blood flows to the oxygenated side, he could stop breathing, and your heart stops. So that was fixed at 3 months old, full repair. Surgery went well. They fixed his valve. Most of the time they have to replace the valve, and then it'll have to be replaced in the future. They actually put a balloon and expanded the valve, and it's growing with him now. So it doesn't look like we're gonna have to get another surgery, which is great.
That's great news.
Yeah. As time went on, you know, he was, you know, we just thought he was delayed. He wasn't sitting up, crawling, because he didn't get that belly time, and you know, because he got to stay off his chest.
Right.
After like 2 years old, we knew something was wrong. We started getting tests. He started taking all sorts of therapies, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, feeding therapy, and just very, very delayed. He's still not sitting. He's still not walking. Still not talking at 4 now. We got all sorts of tests. Everything was coming up negative. They couldn't figure out what it was. The only thing that they had for him was that his head is smaller than the average child, which is a condition called microcephaly. So his brain is not growing the way it should be. But that's a secondary diagnosis. Finally, took 3.5 years, but we got a bunch of genetic work done. Came up negative here. Nothing. They didn't find anything. We went to Boston Children's Hospital. They did some testing and found out that he has a condition called syndrome called ATRX syndrome. It's a very, very rare syndrome. Only 500 people in the world have been diagnosed with it up to this point. Basically, it's intellectual disability, delayed speech, weak muscle tone, and digestive issues.
Okay, so I mean, unfortunately, that means a different lifestyle for your entire family. I mean, you guys have adjusted, and you know, and there's nothing but love in that household. And
absolutely,
you know, I know that, you know, you must be special people to have such a special child and to do the things that you're doing for him. Tell me about your other son, because I hear he's a little bit of a football player, huh?
Yeah, he's an East Rockaway Raider. So we're hoping that something happens this year with the 6-year-old team. Well, I mean, it's not looking too good with this virus going on right now. But
might not be able to get out on the field at this point.
And this is the 50th anniversary of the Raiders this year.
Yeah, and pretty much most of the Oceanside high school football system. I mean, the Raiders is basically our farm team.
Yeah, pretty much. And most of the kids are from Oceanside. I would say 75% of the kids in the program are from Oceanside.
Yeah, most of the kids come up as little peewees and end up in the program. As you know, my son's on the varsity football team as well, and we're hopeful that we can get back to it this season. And you know, we have a real shot. We have a great. I think he's the #1 ranked quarterback in the state this year, and he's only a rising junior.
Yep.
We got a great shot at the county championship this year. I mean, it's been an amazing run under Coach Blount. I believe the last, I want to say 11 years, maybe 12. He took over a team that it wasn't even about the team. It just the culture was bad, and he went on a mission to just change the culture. And he's really done an unbelievable job with the program, everywhere from the middle schoolers all the way up. You know, it's just really a shout out to Coach Blount and all the great things that he does for our boys. So, you know, hopefully your little guy takes a liking to football, and this just becomes his thing.
Yeah, man, definitely.
So, you know what? We're coming up on about 25 minutes, Brian, and that's usually as far as I go. You know, it's a beautiful day. I think people want to get out there and enjoy the sun. I know I'm going to have to battle maybe a couple of lines today to get some supplies for the family on my supply run. But I really just want to thank you for coming on. I mean, you're just really an interesting guy, and you know, such a giver. You know, lifetime of service, and in every aspect of your life, you are a net giver. And folks like that, at least in my opinion, folks like that get rewarded by the big guy at some point. And, I think the blessings on you are that you and your family have your health, and you have love, and you have each other. So I really want to thank you for coming on today. And you know what? There are a few other people. Your friend Seth Blau is out there. Let's see who else is out there. Dave, my friend David's out there. David, my Marine Corps brother's out there. Brian Sergi's out there. Oh, and Natasha's out there watching. Natasha from Be The Match. So, nice crowd rounded out for us. Brian, anything else? Seth is saying hi to both of us. Anything else that you want to wrap up with today?
I mean, if you guys want to check out our Facebook page, it's Oceanside Community Warriors. And if you want to check out my son Liam's page, it's Lionhearted Liam. It's a group. If you want to check out his pictures and follow his life and what he's going through.
Lionhearted Liam and Oceanside Community Warriors. Oh, by the way, with the Warriors, right? Since our main topic today was, how to improve your community. So the Warriors basically exist on not just the sweat equity that you volunteers put in, but, like with the paint donation, you guys do take some donations. You do from time to time, obviously need some equipment. Lawnmowers, weed whackers, plastic bags, gloves, safety equipment. Is there a way for people to help out with that if they just, if their thing is sit on the couch and help?
Yeah.
Which is cool. How can they help the Warriors?
Well, currently right now, check out our page. We have a GoFundMe set up. Like you said, we got to buy all these supplies. At first, it was coming out of our own pockets, and the money adds up with the equipment. We have a trailer now with to load all of our equipment in, and we got to get insurance on that.
Right.
So we have a GoFundMe page. If you have any equipment that you don't need that's taking up space in your garage, we'd be happy to take it from you. You can always use it.
That's great. And you are a registered 501c3. You're a nonprofit organization. So both your cash donations and your in-kind equipment donations, you'll get a letter, you get a receipt for that donation, and and it's obviously tax deductible, helping the community. So that's fantastic, Brian. Really, I enjoyed our conversation. Look forward to the days when we can, get out there with the boys and throw football around and, just do community things. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you for now, and look forward to better days with you. Thanks a lot, Brian. Appreciate you being on.
Thanks for having me.
All right. All right. Hey guys, that was fantastic. Really great guest. Wow. Really leaving me in a bright mood. Very happy about that conversation. You know what? It's nice. You get to know neighbors, and they're just multifaceted givers. I mean, this guy's fantastic. Just giving in every aspect of his life. Really happy to know Brian and proud to be his neighbor. And I think we're coming right up on 27 minutes. And I believe you guys want to get out there in the sun and enjoy it. So I'm going to bid you all adieu, and I'm going to ask you to come back. I'm going to ask you to come back every Saturday, because as long as we're locking down, Corona Chronicles is going to keep going live every Saturday at 12 noon. So please come back and tune in. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.